Hey there, everyone. I'm Daryl Stringer. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Builder Photography Business Show. This is where I help photographers like you with photography, marketing, and pricing. Now, in this episode, there we go, we're going to look at what real estate and architectural photographers can do to get clients in a really highly saturated market. And then we're just going to have an open question and answer time. So if you are watching live, feel free to drop any questions or comments, and I'll get to them at some point during the show. I might even share your comment for everyone to see. All right, let's get into some training. Okay, so how do real estate and architectural photographers stand out and get clients in a saturated market? There's a lot of photographers out there now, and sometimes it seems like there are too many. So what do? Well, I think the first healthy step in this is to question whether your chosen field of photography really is too saturated in your market. And you know what I'd say to that? It's probably not too saturated unless you copy everyone else. So if you copy them, then it's saturated, but there are always gaps, and you just need to find those gaps. And I think the key to this is to focus on the solutions instead of getting obsessed about the obstacles there. So I'd look for a way around problems like a saturated market and be really optimistic that you can find a way forward, because otherwise, you'll lose all of your energy. It's really draining to feel down there. And I think you get there, I think you find a solution by looking for the gaps in the market. And in this situation, I think you want to look at 3 things. One is to look at your services, which is what you deliver to your clients. 2 is your story, which is all about who you are. And 3 is your brand, which is the personality and the position you take in the market. So if we've got these 3 overlapping circles, then the gap in the market is the unique combination that is found where all 3 of these elements meet together. Okay, is that kind of making sense? We'll get into it now in a bit more detail. So if you're going to differentiate yourself in a busy market, then finding something you can do that others are not doing is a really great place to start. But in order to get that right, you really need to know your audience and know what they need. Now, I think there might actually be 2 questions to answer here. The first question is, what do they know they want? And the second question is, what do they not know they want, but you know will solve a particular problem for them? And I think you want to ask both of those questions, because the unique service in your market could be something that your potential clients aren't yet aware of. So there may be some great opportunities there, though you'll need to be able to convince your dream prospects that they need it. So for example, if agents know they need photos, then it's easy to say, hey, I can do your photos. But if they don't know why they need some other service or widget that you offer, then that's going to be a tougher message to sell. So your marketing in that situation is going to need to be really on point. Now, I just want to give a quick word of warning here. Don't assume that the gap in your market is the quality of the photography or the fact that you have a drone or you can do video. And in addition to that, don't assume that the quality of your photography is your only opportunity to differentiate yourself. Now, there may be gaps in the services being offered, and there may be gaps in quality, and that's great if there are, but you'll want to spend time thoroughly researching your market so you know what's going on. And don't just assume that gaps are there, or at least that there aren't like obvious gaps. Okay, the second part of this process is to get clear on your story and how that connects with your photography and the services you deliver. So when thinking about your story, we're thinking about you, because you are the one thing in your business that no other photographer can copy. Okay, so think about what's your background? Why did you get started in this field of photography? What are you really good at? That's your story, and that's going to be the thing that clearly differentiates you from the other photographers in your area. So just to give an example, if say you're a single parent who had a passion for photography while you were in high school, and now you're trying to run a business as a single parent, then you can bring that into your business, and that's going to really connect with other single parents out there. Or maybe you have a background in sport or music, maybe, or theatre, or teaching, engineering, whatever it is. Maybe you can bring that into your business. And that's all part of your story, and it's going to influence how you work and how you serve. So it's a really important part of your business, and you really need to make the most of that. So to find your story, you might want to write down who you are and what makes you you, okay? And then write down your strengths and also what you're passionate about, and just see what jumps out at you as something that fits into your photography and that offers that unique element and that point of connection. Now, maybe it's your background or your experience, the way you communicate, or maybe some hobby of yours or some activity that you're really passionate about. Whatever it is, I know that there's something unique about you that you can work into your business. Okay, so you want to find your story, but then you need to share it so that the people know about your story and they associate that with you. So, for example, what are the things in your story that help you as a photographer or as a business owner or as a member of the community? And how can you share that through social media, your website, your office presentations, just like everywhere, like anywhere? Think about what you can do to share your story, and videos may be a really great way to do this, because it's through video that people see the real you. They don't see the real you when they look at your photos of kitchens and when they look at your drone shots, because they probably just look like other photos of kitchens and drone shots by other photographers. Like, they all blend together. But video content that features you is not something that any other photographer can do. So maybe that could be really something that's like your special sauce that will really help you stand out in a photography market. Now, the third thing you might want to do is to define your brand, and you'll want to develop a personality for your brand that aligns with you and your story. So in other words, like, make sure your business is consistent with who you are, and allow your brand to set you apart, because it will be uniquely you, and no other business in your market can replicate your combination of your service, your story, and your brand. Okay, so to bring all this together, this is how you stand out in a crowded market. You need to identify your unique service, your unique story, and your unique brand, and look at where those three things meet, and make that a part of what you say and do online or offline when communicating with your clients and your prospects. So that's how you stand out in a busy market, because your combination of those three things, your service, your story, your brand, that's going to be the only one of its kind in your industry, in your market. Okay, and that's what's going to make you special. That's how you're going to stand out, like in a really busy market, is finding what's unique about that, and then you've got to get it out there and share that information and that story with others. Okay, now it's time for some Q&A. If anyone watching live has got any questions or comments that you would like to share, drop them in the comments now. I'd be happy to take a look. Or if you're watching this later on, feel free to drop them in the comments then, and I'll be able to get back to you later on. So just seeing, don't have anything coming in yet. I just want to be sure again that you're all clear on what we've been through today. You want to get that combination going. So it might take a little bit of time, perhaps, to look through and identify what's your story, what's your brand, what's your unique service, if you can find one. If you can't find a unique service in terms of what you're offering, maybe think about your service delivery. Is there something there? Maybe think about the way you respond or anything like that. So when thinking about your service, don't just think about, your photos or, the fact that you do drones and you do a Matterport and you do video. That's only part of it. If we only sort of look at that part of your business, then everything is just a commodity. It's all the same, but we know it's not, because the way you do things is really, really different to the way your competition is doing things. So your service there is going to be different, even if a lot of the widgets and a lot of the deliverables that you have is the same as what everyone else is doing. And again, of course, your brand is going to be different and your story is going to be different. So look, that's it for today's show. If you aren't yet following me, then here's where you can find me on social media. Let's go back up. There it is. You can find me on Facebook at Build a Photo Business, and on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or an email if you want to ask me any questions. Feel free to get back to me there. All right, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.